Hello, welcome to my show. It's good to be back with you. It's always good to be with you. I come alive when I'm with you. I'm sitting here waiting for you to come on, and now you're on. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Today, we're doing this show in the middle of a snowstorm. My guest, I didn't think would make it because it's a bad day. The driving is horrible. But he did make it. He's here, and he's important. And I don't think he's as important as he thinks he is, but he is important. I want you to take off your shoes, pour yourself your favorite drink, and watch what's going to transpire in the next few minutes. By the way, this is the shortest 30 minutes on television. It goes fast. So don't turn away for a second. You know, I got to tell you something. I was at Shaw's the other day. I think I told you this before, but it bears repeating. I was in Shaw's the other day. This lady come up, a little old lady. She grabbed my sleeve and she said, "Excuse me, are you the guy on television?" And I said, yes, I do appear on television from time to time. Well, she said, "I just wanted to know, was it you or your brother who passed away last week?" That's kind of an odd question, don't you think so? That's enough of that. I think on such a lousy day, we ought to get a little more serious. So don't go away. I'm going to be right back. Oh, good. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Sorry it took so long, but some things have to be done. By the way, got a bone to pick with you just very briefly before I introduce you to my guest. I have asked several times for somebody to give us a call that would like to do a show like I'm doing, or like you want to do, or something you've got in mind, or you want to get up off your fanny and do something, and you want to have some fun, all those good things, and I don't get a peep out of you. What's wrong? What's going on? Is there something you want? I know there's somebody out there that would like to be on television. Maybe you're a little timid. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I couldn't do that. Forget all that. Get all that out of your mind. Call up. Make an appointment with one of the wonderful people that work here and sit down, and they'll tell you exactly what's going on. They'll train you. They'll teach you how to do lighting. They'll teach you how to do sound. They'll teach you camera technique. They'll teach you microphone technique. They'll teach you it all. If you're looking for something to do where you can also benefit your community, take a volunteer's job at Community Access Television here at Area 58. Again, the number is 508-866-1019. I'm looking forward to helping you. You got to remember, my age, you better hurry up because you never know. All right, seriously, give it a shot. Give it a try. You want to go on television, male or female? Give it a shot. You're going to have a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to introduce to you now my guest. He's a very important guy. I don't, you know me, I'm take things very lightheartedly and I joke around a lot, but this man is very important to the community, and his name is Jack Cocio.
Cocio, correct.
How are you, Jack?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out on such a day as this.
I know.
It's a bad day out there, ladies and gentlemen. The streets haven't been plowed. It's slippery. It's snowy. The visibility is bad. And this gentleman showed up to do my show. I can't tell you how flattered I am.
Here. Very happy to be here.
You are the CEO. Mm-hmm. We used to call me executive director, right?
It used to be executive director. They changed the title to chief operating officer.
Chief operating officer of
South Shore Community Action Council in Plymouth on 71 Obery Street.
South Shore Community Action Council.
Yes.
On Obery Street in Plymouth, 71 Obery Street in Plymouth.
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been the CEO for a total of 7 months.
7 months.
But I've been there for almost 17 years. So
really?
Before that, I was the fiscal director for 16 years. So.
Fiscal.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Money.
Okay.
I happen to be a CPA.
And you're a CPA as well as a good-looking guy.
There you go.
Wow.
How do you like that?
I like it. Can I ask you what college you attended?
I went to Northeastern
Northeastern.
in Boston.
Great school.
Yeah, it was
A
great.
great school.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
But you got to work as well as go to school when you go to Northeastern, right?
Yeah.
They give you the opportunity to put your way through.
Yeah. It was a different era because I was able to actually earn my tuition and my book fees while I was going to school and working, so that when I went back to school, I had earned the total amount that I needed so that I was able to get out of school with only $400 worth of loans.
Wow. Imagine that.
Not bad, huh?
Imagine that.
Can't do that today.
The people out there with $100,000 worth of loans, I guess, and
Exactly.
maybe even more than
Sure.
that.
Right.
I got to ask this question because I'm kind of stupid. The Northeastern, what you're doing for living, did they teach that? Is there a curriculum for that? Is there a program for what you do, or is it you become a CPA and that opens a lot of doors?
Well, at the time, I wasn't thinking of being a CEO someday at a nonprofit organization,
course
which
you
is
weren't.
where I ended up. I was hoping to go into public accounting. But they do have, because it's a university, they have so many colleges to it that you can go down different avenues. At the time, I was looking to get into business and make a lot of money.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
We all were.
Typical.
We all were, yes.
Right.
I don't know if you folks know it or not, but I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that a CPA's test, the ultimate test that makes you a CPA, which, by the way, is certified public accountant, is tougher than passing the bar.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was very difficult. I remember the first time I took it, there are 4 parts to it. It takes a number of days, and I felt that I had done so well that I passed all 4 parts. And I actually didn't pass anything. I came close on every part. The next time I took it, which was a year later, I had much more experience and more schooling, and I felt that I didn't pass anything. And I passed all 4 parts. And I think the difference was that I knew a lot more than the first time I took it. And
Yeah.
so it felt different when I took
Yeah.
it, There's a lot more knowledge in my head at that time. Thank goodness.
Thank God for experience.
Exactly.
Thank God for
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Married, Jack?
Married, have 4 children, 9 grandchildren.
9 grandchildren?
Yeah.
Any great-grandchildren?
Not yet.
Oh.
The kids are not old enough. None of them are married.
Are any of your children in accounting, let me say?
No.
No, they're not.
None of them are in accounting. A couple of teachers.
Great, that's great.
Yeah, actually, yeah. 2
How long have you
teachers.
been married?
I've been married, it'll be 40 years
40 years.
in May. Yeah, it's
Wow.
fantastic.
It's fantastic today. Marriages don't last that long anymore, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately.
That's great. That's great. Do you like what you're doing?
I enjoy it thoroughly,
Really?
yeah.
Have you liked it prior to?
Well, as a CPA and working as the fiscal director, I really enjoyed my job thoroughly. And I was involved in just about everything that was going on. The executive director at the time, Pat Daly, who retired this past June, called on me for just about every single thing that was going on. And so I had an impact. I knew what was going on with the organization constantly, every single day. So I was involved. So I enjoyed that significantly. When they put out the call, when she decided to retire, and they put out the call for interviews and so forth, and they were doing a national search, I initially wasn't going to apply for it, but some of the other directors felt that maybe it would be a good idea if I did, and they were encouraging me to do so. When Trump decided to, and timing is everything, when Trump decided to say we're cutting all of these different programs, the combination of that and the impact it would have on our agency, and the fact that we had constant leadership for such a long time. Pat Daly had worked with the agency for 40 years, and so she was the director for 25 odd years. I thought that it would be helpful to the whole agency if they had continuity of leadership, especially with the potential that there could be cuts. I could hear that other employees were getting a bit nervous, and I decided to throw my hat into the ring. And so they hired me. And I have to tell you, I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You say they hired you. Who hired you?
Well, there was a search committee that was made up of three.
Did they have a national search? You said national search?
They did a national search, and from the point of view, they hired an outside consultant to put the ads out. But the committee that did the interviewing included the consultant and 3 board members, actually 4 board members, and 2 staff people from the agency. It was an interesting situation.
This is a national thing, South Shore Community Action Council. They don't call it South Shore, of course, but are they all around the country?
Well, we are located in Plymouth, and our location is on the South Shore of Massachusetts, here, south of Boston. But we're a community action agency, or a CAP agency is what we're called. And they are throughout the country, but we're all independent. So we belong to a group that's called MassCap, Massachusetts Association of CAP Agency, or Community Action Agencies.
Okay, so they are all around the country?
All around the country, yes.
With a similar mission?
Same mission, basically.
Same mission.
Yeah, which is to pull people out of poverty. Our mission is to get people out of poverty, to eliminate it on the South Shore.
Okay, I want to save that for the next segment.
All right, we'll do that.
Because I know, I'm ashamed to say, very little about the South Shore Community Action Council. And when I knew you were coming on board, I talked to a few of my friends, casually mentioned South Shore Community Action Council, and said, "What's that?"
Right.
And I said, "You've never heard of it?" I said, "Well, yeah, I've heard of it, but what do they do?" And they thought you were a COA, community. What's that?
Council on Aging.
What?
Council on Aging.
Council on Aging.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought that that's what you did, and I said, "No, that's not what they do at all."
Right.
How are you funded, Jack?
Well, some of our funds are federal programs, so we have about maybe 60–70% of our programs are run with federal dollars, and maybe about 20% state dollars, and about 10% private funding.
Private funding? Donations, you mean?
Donations, foundations, individuals, sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
Some of our programs, and we'll talk about this later on, I'm sure, but some of our programs are not funded at all by the government. So we raise all of the dollars for some of the programs, yeah. Those are the fun programs. A little bit of stress, but fun.
Yeah. I would imagine those are the fun programs. But
right.
See, I didn't realize that. So tax dollars are somehow involved. Now, this is going to be a stupid question, but the municipality is not involved in the funding. In other words, my property taxes do not contribute to the funding, or do they?
In very limited fashion. In other words, we would have to go to the town council, present a warrant request that says that we would like to have X number of dollars, say maybe $3,000 or $5,000, to help fund a particular program, or because we do this service for the town. And then the town can make a decision if they wanted to help fund us for a particular year with a small amount.
Okay.
But that's somewhat unusual.
Okay. All right. I hope you're getting as much out of this as I am, because to me it's a little bit of a mystery. We're going to take a break now, but we're going to come back. I'm going to kind of ask Jack to take over the show in the next 15 minutes and explain what Community Action Council does for you and for me and for all of us. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Glad to be. I wish you could be here with me when we're off the air, because my guest is such a delight. We're talking. He's a good audience for sure, and a very knowledgeable guy. So I'm going to kind of ask him to take over a little bit and let us know, because like you, I'm a little bewildered about what South Shore Community Action Council is. I know this one thing, by the way. I have my taxes done there. They are in Plymouth on 71 Oldbury Street, by the way. I have my taxes done there every year, and I was just telling Jack off camera that the man that does my taxes is an absolute delight. He does them efficiently, and he doesn't treat me like I'm some jerk that doesn't know what he's doing. He treats me like a human being, and he lets me know what he's doing. This is why I'm doing this, and this is why I'm doing that, and this is how you make out the check, and this is how you do that. And I've been going to him 5 or 6 years, and every year he said that. And last year I said, yeah, you told me that last year. He says, I told you that last year, I'm going to tell you that this year, and I'll tell you that next year. I said, that's the kind of treatment you get there. They're just, you know, when I first went there to get my tax, I was embarrassed. I said, I could afford to pay somebody to do this, I guess, but this guy does a job that nobody else I've ever seen does for me, so I'm going to keep going. All right, Jack Cocio is back, and I'm going to ask him, what does South Shore Community Action Council do for people?
Okay, well, the whole idea is for us to eliminate poverty on the South Shore, and that's something...
Can I interrupt you just a minute?
Sure.
Is it working?
Well, we're doing it one person at a time, pretty much.
Okay.
And, you know, even biblically, you would read that Jesus said, you will always have the poor with you. So we're never going to eliminate poverty. We know that. But you've probably heard the commercials for the Children's Hospital where they've indicated that they'll be around until every child is well.
Yes.
Well, that's never going to happen.
No.
So they're telling you, and we're telling people too, we're not leaving. We're going to be there no matter what. Federal government might say we're going to cut this program, cut funding for this program. The state government might say that, but we'll find a way to continue to help people to try to get out of poverty and see if we can help them out. So the size of the organization is about $20 million, and we have a whole bunch of programs to help people get out of poverty. One of them is called the LIHEAP program. It's low-income heat assistance program where people can be qualified to get assistance paying their heating bills, whatever type of fuel they have. And the maximum that they could get this particular year is $1,400. We pay the suppliers directly. We don't pay money to individuals. We pay the suppliers directly. We got about 12,000 applications this past year, and about 9,000 of them qualified and had assistance. So,
wow.
And it's all through the South Shore. We go from Hingham, Scituate, Hull, over all the way up and through the Cape. So all of the South Shore towns, including the Cape Cod. So a tremendous number of people that we've helped with that program. If you get qualified for that program, you also could be qualified for other programs that we have. There's a weatherization program where we will come into your home and we'll make it better weather-wise, as far as like sealing windows and things of that nature.
Really?
So that's as well. We do burner repair programs. You could be qualified where we could help you get a cleaning, a repair of a burner, or even a replacement of a burner. We've done full replacements of burners, furnaces.
Holy
as well.
mackerel.
Yeah, so quite a bit.
Yeah.
Those are some big programs that we have. Got my
Excuse
little
me,
cheat sheet
how
here.
do you qualify, the heating thing, for example, 12,000 applied, 9,000 were accepted. Why weren't the other 3,000, they were making too much money?
It's federal funds, and there's sliding scales as to what your qualifications would be, but I think the maximum that you could have is 150% of poverty. And so it'll go down as you reach that 150% of poverty. You won't get the full 1,400. And I think this year there was also a supplement of an additional $200 from the federal government as well.
Wow.
Because of the cold winter. But that's one program that we have. We have a food resource program, which I love to talk about, because this one is not funded by the federal or the state.
So it's not stamps?
No, this is our own food resource program. We actually have, over this past year, this is going to blow you away. We distributed to different food pantries throughout the South Shore approximately 600,000 pounds of food. That's the equivalent of almost 500,000 meals.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and that's all with private funds.
Private funds.
So either foundations or individuals that know what we're doing will send us a check and say, please use this towards your food program. So,
Did you hear that? How many meals again was it?
it's about 500,000 meals, the equivalent of 500,000 meals.
I don't know what to say.
Well-
I'm very seldom speechless,
Okay.
but that's so great.
It is great. It's fantastic.
That's
And-
so great that
Yep.
people are not going hungry
Yeah.
because of your organization.
It helps. It really helps. One of the things that I love about this program, people love this too, it's called the Backpack Program. What we do for families that have children that are marginal, that are having a difficult time making ends meet. On Wednesdays, we have volunteers come in and they'll fill backpacks up with enough food for the children to bring home in their backpack on Friday afternoon, so that they'll have meals, supplementary type meals, for Saturday and Sunday, so that when they come back on Monday, they return the backpacks, and on the next Wednesday, we fill it up again. So we have 9 schools, I believe, in Plymouth and a couple in Middleborough, 2 or 3 in Middleborough as well. Over 400 kids, over 400 backpacks every single week.
Wow.
And this is all done with donated food, donated funds. et cetera,
Again,
et
with
cetera.
public money, with
Private
not-
money.
Private money, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we love that program.
I can imagine.
We
That's
love the
great.
VITA program that you were talking about as well, the volunteer income tax assistance. Last year, I believe we did about 650 tax returns, all by volunteers. They're unpaid. So if you
Yeah,
like that program, you can send a thank you and send it to my attention. I'll make sure that mention the person's name if you like. I'll make sure that they.
I'm absolutely going to
We'll
do
let
that.
them know.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
hold you to that now. So
Okay, I'd be
remember,
happy to
my
do
name
that.
is Ken
Yeah.
Simmons.
Ken Simmons,
Yeah.
I can't forget that.
You know, I can't. You people sitting out there, I can't. I don't take part in any of these programs except the VITA program, the Voluntary Income Tax Assistance, and it's a great program. And I don't know what the qualifications are for that. I'm not sure there are any.
Well, I think if you came in
You
and
gotta be
and you
elderly.
had a business and you had a quite complex tax
Yeah,
return, we'll
that-
try to tell you to go
Yeah.
to a professional.
Yeah.
So
Mine's a non-income kind of tax return,
There you
and
go.
it's fairly simple except for the
Right.
there's few stocks and bonds that are involved in
Right.
there. But I got it. There's no embarrassment. You know, you're
No,
treated like a
no.
human being there.
yeah, well, the volunteers do it because they love doing it. You know?
I'll be honest with you, I thought they got paid for it. I didn't
Yeah.
think they got
No, they
much,
don't.
but I
Yeah.
thought they got something.
Yeah.
Because anybody that's that committed, that sits down with you and opens up the book and drags you over and says, this is this and this is that and this is this and this is, takes the time. I'm not talking 10 minutes now. That guy spent, I think last year he spent an hour with me, and then I had to come back.
Yeah.
Come back, and he spent another half hour with me. That's the kind of treatment I get over
They're
there.
happy to do it.
Yeah.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about our child care programs as well, because we have about 425 children that come through our doors to our different locations. We have a child care location in Marshfield. We have a child care location in Plymouth, and Head Start program for low-income people. And we also have early education child care, which is state-funded program as well, where there's a sliding scale where parents will pay some funds towards that, but Head Start is free as well. It includes transportation. One of the things that happened very recently is we had a flood in our Plymouth site, and we had to relocate 200 children from that site to another child care site. We worked for the last couple of weeks with the town of Plymouth to get approval to work to bring the kids into the Mount Pleasant School, which is Plymouth-owned building. And we got that all ready and have the kids, they just started out this past Monday. But that's a tremendous program as well. The kids get a lot of good learning, get them ready for school, preschool.
See, I had no idea you did all that. I had no idea that. How many employees is there at that particular?
Altogether, we have about 190 employees.
Really?
Yeah.
At that facility?
No, not at that facility. We also have a transportation department where we'll take elderly and sick into Boston for transportation, for medical assistance, and we'll take them to different programs during the day that they can be during the day for the elderly.
Wait a minute now. That transportation thing, I had no idea you did that. Would you take disabled people? I mean, have you got vans that are wheelchair equipped?
Yes, yes.
And you'll take them into Boston, wait for them, and bring them back home?
Bring them back. We can do that.
Free?
We do that. Well, we're paid by different programs.
No, I mean, is it free to the recipient?
Generally, they are. Generally, they are. There are some individuals that might have to pay, but there are a number of programs that we're associated with GATRA and other programs that...
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Can a person who maybe not be disabled but can't drive, need to go into Boston, can they call you and volunteer to pay for the service?
Generally, we don't run into that very much at all.
But can they?
I'd actually have to check. It probably would not work too well. It's not like a dial-a-ride type of program.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I had an instance just last week, as a matter of fact, where I have a problem with my eyes, and I go to the VA,
right.
and the VA in Brockton said, we've done all we can, now you need to go to Jamaica Plain.
Right.
I can drive into Jamaica Plain without a problem, but I can't come back because of what they're going to do to my eyes.
Right.
Now they're blurry, and
Yes.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Sure.
Oh, I look at my age. A lot of my friends are gone or going,
Right.
and I didn't have any transportation, and I couldn't find any.
Right.
I even went to the Nathan Hale thing in Plymouth, which is great, but he's not feeling well, so that was kind of disabled for the moment.
Right.
I think it's okay now. Don't listen to me. Give him a call. So I called Jamaica Plain and said, I've got to cancel my appointment because I can't find any way in. She said, I'll call you right back. And she did call me back in about an hour, and she said, we're going to have a van in your driveway at 7 o'clock on such and such a day. Going to come in here, he'll wait for you, and he'll bring you back, and it's no charge to you.
Wow.
And I said, I didn't know that people did that. I thought you were all alone in this thing. But you're not. You're not all alone.
Right.
You're not. If you've got a problem with finances, you have a phone number, you have a website.
Sure.
What is it?
sscac.org.
Say-
sscac.org for South Shore Community Action Council.
Okay. That's easy enough
So
to
you
remember.
can just Google South Shore
You got a
Community and it'll
problem?
come up.
Give them a call. You don't mind that, do you?
No, not
That's
at
what you're
all.
there for.
Not at all.
Give them a call because you are not alone. I live alone, but I'm not alone. I could take advantage of that. I've got the VA going for me, and so have you. You've got a lot of things going for you that you don't even know about. And the people, by the way, that I've met at the South Shore Community Action Council are just as nice as this gentleman here. They treat you like a human being. They treat you like, you know what? Let's go back to the biblical thing again. They treat you like you'd like to be treated. They treat you. How's the golden rule go?
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, well, love your neighbor as yourself. But you always want to be treated like somebody would treat you. Treat other people like they would treat you.
Sure.
And that's what we've got here. And we don't know about it. We don't. But now I'm telling you. By the way, the VITA program. I hate to keep going back to that. That's the voluntary income tax assistance. Want to make a contribution? You can do that, right?
Sure.
Can you make a contribution to the general fund?
You could state whatever you like. If you wanted to just go into general funds,
you can stipulate.
unrestricted, or if you wanted to go to the VITA program directly, just write that on the memo area of your check or put a little note in there, and we'll be happy to do that.
Man, I don't know how you can beat that. I don't know how you can beat that. Now, how long have you been doing it? You said you've been CEO since July.
Right.
And that, is this a lifetime job now? Is this?
Well, probably, considering my age, I would say that it probably is. I'm not going to go out looking for another position.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. But
no, but I enjoy it so thoroughly. And, you know, it's really good feeling to know that you're helping people. So, and you're getting paid to do that type of work. It's great. You know, how can you beat that?
you can't beat that.
I do have, because it's Area 58, and I know that you do specifically the Plimpton and Carver and Halifax area, I wanted to share a couple of stats with you about those individuals
Absolutely.
or households so that they know. Just for example, in those three areas, we spent $1.2 million on assistance to people in those areas.
Did you really?
Either through LIHEAP, the LIHEAP program, the heat assistance, weatherization, et cetera, et cetera. And we helped 1,600 households.
Wow.
1,600 individuals, about 900 households in that area. So that's a pretty good amount.
Those are great stats.
Yeah.
Those are great stats. We've only got about a minute. I could go for another half hour. We've only got about a minute or two to go. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people sitting out there watching us now that we haven't touched on?
Probably just that we enjoy doing what we do, definitely. We don't get funding for that food program or the backpack program that I spoke about to you from the federal or the state government. So if you'd like to make a donation to that program, if it touches your heart, we're happy to receive donations. You could just send it over to South Shore Community Action Council, 71 Aubrey Street. If you'd like to send it to my attention, Jack Cocio, C-O-C-I-O, that would be fine, and I'll make sure that it gets to exactly the program you ask it to go to.
Can't ask for anything better than that. I get a lot of interesting guests. All my guests are great. This gentleman has plucked at my heartstrings. I think he's a committed man. I think he means what he says. I know he means what he says, because you couldn't do a job like that if you weren't in some way knowing that what you're doing is helping people. You know, I have the feeling that even with this little thing that I do here at Area 58, that public access or community access television is doing something for the people. We're trying to let you know what's available to you in a variety of ways. This is one of them, but this is a very important one of them. And I'm so happy to have brought it to you. I'm so delighted that this gentleman made it through a snowstorm that most people would find an excuse to read a book. And I couldn't really blame them for that. But when I saw him in the coffee shop, I said to him, I didn't know who he was. I said, "You're crazy too." He said, "Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm going to be on your show." He came all the way up from the Cape. The roads weren't even plowed. And the guy that's behind the camera now, Rich Goulart, executive director here at Area 58, he came through a blinding snowstorm and just getting over a hangover. It's just unbelievable the way he acts. I thank you all. I thank you for watching. I thank my guests, sir.
Thank you very much.
Very,
Pleasure
very
to meet
nice
you.
of you to come here. Thank you, Rich. I love you. You know that. And you people sitting out there, thank you. It wouldn't be anything without you. No need for me if it weren't for you. So let me leave you with this. I'll be back. Until then, keep a song in your heart. Goodbye and God bless.